Anyway, it's a no-brainer. If the coach you're looking to hire, which in this case Cory, has what you want to have, like once you know they actually have it, like why the heck wouldn't you hire the person? I don't know. Maybe I'm too simplistic, but that's always been my mindset.
Real Estate Investing Profits presents Profit Masters with your host, world-renowned real estate coach and investor, Cory Boatwright. Now, strap in and get ready to learn elite wealth-building investment strategies taught by 6- and 7-figure house flipping masters as they reveal their best real estate investing profit secrets to you right now.
What is going on, my party people? It has been a little while since we have done a podcast episode, and so I'm excited about sharing something a little bit different on this one that is going to hopefully encourage you and inspire you. I appreciate you again for joining our Real Estate Investing Profit Masters podcast series. My name is Cory Boatwright. I am the CEO of Real Estate Investing Profits, and what we're going to talk about today is, again, a little bit different than what our normal format is for the podcast. So I think you're going to dig it. And what we're going to talk about is a little bit on the coaching side of wholesaling. And that's one thing that I have done for many, many years. I get constant questions about this on Facebook, on Instagram, on our big email list that we have, and really just from other investors when I'm traveling, is about why coaching is important, or if it is, right? Some people that have never done coaching before, they want to know if it's important, what kind of results can come from it. Is it kind of ethereal, or can you actually get these hardline results? And is it worth it? Quite frankly, is the value there? What if the investment that you put in, or what are you going to get back out of it? And so I am going to share one of these conversations I have with my student, Jim Zaspel. He is a fantastic human being, and he is going to share some of his results on working together. We worked together now for about 12 sessions, and I think you're going to get a lot from it. So before we get into it, I want to ask you a question. Are you ready? Have you downloaded your Ultimate Real Estate Investing Quick Start Guide? Have you? If you haven't, why don't you auto-magically go do it by simply texting in the word profit to 38470, 38470, and you will get a link to that ebook. And we've had thousands and thousands, actually tens of thousands of people download it. And it's a very quick read, but it also gives you some tangible things and practical things to do in your real estate investing business. And of course, if you're interested in working together in the coaching capacity, I'd love to have that conversation with you. If you go to Cory's Coaching, that's CORYS coaching.com, simply watch the little 2-minute video. It really is 2 minutes. And it asks you one question on there. It says, where are you in your experience? Have you ever done any wholesale deals? Have you done a few, or are you just rocking them out? And from there, we can have a deeper conversation on what you need. I believe that you get out of something what you put into it. And so there's going to be some questions that go further into that for your benefit. All right. So I'm excited. I hope you are too on hearing this interview with Mr. Jim Zaspel from the city of brotherly love, Philadelphia. I'll talk to you guys soon. Remember, be a servant, and I hope you enjoy this interview. Bye now. Hey, Jim, what's going on?
Yo, Cory, what's up, dog?
I am doing well. It's actually raining here in Oklahoma City today.
It's raining in Philadelphia too.
Raining in Philadelphia.
Join the crowd. Yeah,
right. Well, appreciate you being on here. I'm excited about doing this interview. You know, we talked about this for a little bit, and you and I have been working together for 12 sessions and coaching together. And just candidly, I would like to be able to just find out how's your experience been from your perspective on working together. And I know that we had a specific agenda and goal in place before we started working together. And so I'd like to speak to that and where we are today with that process, and just kind of go from there. I appreciate, again, you taking the time. I know you are
Glad to, man.
A lot of things going on, but I think it's important to share some of these results, and one, just encourage other people of what's possible.
Absolutely. So, just to generally, I've been super happy with the result. Whenever you hire a coach or you're thinking about hiring a coach, is like, is he really going to be there for me? Is he really going to answer my questions? Am I going to get enough resources to make it? And those are, I knew you from before, so I wasn't too worried about that. But I will definitely say you were more responsive to me as the student than I was as my mentor than I was to you as the student. So you definitely outperformed there. But now my goal is simple. I want to be wholesaling 5 houses a month, and we sell about 4 to 5 rehabs every month. But I wanted to ramp up my wholesaling business. And so I forget what it was the first month or two we were working together. I did do a few right out of the gate, thanks to what I learned. But now we've had a little more time to have some of these things we implement take more effect. And this month that we're in right now, we are closing 7 deals. Like, awesome. That means we've got a buyer under contract, a seller under contract, and the closing is scheduled, and some have already happened. So these are like legit deals, not just contracts with sellers for too much. So seven legit deals.
Not only that, you told me, I'm super excited about that. That's awesome. Congratulations on that. But also you have another 10 or 11 contracts that are still waiting for buyers right now.
Yes. Yeah.
So you actually got agreements with owners that want to sell.
Correct. Great. And that was sometimes the challenge. It's different acquisitions, people with different strengths. And the acquisitions, one of my main acquisitions guys was having a real hard time getting the contracts with sellers. And so I told you about it, and I was just complaining more than anything else. And you told me, you said, well, you heard me saying some things that told you a lot. I didn't even know I was saying that were meaningful, right? And so we spent the majority, at least half of that phone call, on how I can better coach my acquisitions person, the guy going out meeting with sellers and getting contracts. And he had been getting 0 to 1, sometimes 2 contracts per week, but typically 0 to 1, like an average of 3/4 of a contract per week. Not that good on 10,000 mailers a week, right? And the next week, he had 9 seller meetings and closed 8 deals, and they were all good deals. That was like the next week after that conversation, and he's been consistently 2 to 5 contracts every single week since then.
It's just incredible. I mean, the results have been amazing, and it's been a lot to do with really you implementing some of these things that we went over. And, one thing I think is interesting whenever working with someone is some of the things that we go over may be some things that they have heard of before, or maybe they've even done or put their toe in the water to do some of the things for strategies, either like for mailers or for calls or however they're getting their leads. But what is it that kind of specifically working together has been a strategy that continually has been something that has shown positive results for you?
Sure. Well, there are a couple of things that I was reminded of that I'd done in the past and gotten away from, and then some other things that we added that made a big difference. So direct mail is a big part of our business. So some things I'd been reminded of was simple stuff. Like when we're selling the wholesale deals, we talked about how to offer a faster closing for the seller and say, hey, if we were able to close a week early, if I want to have a buyer lined up, would you be able to for a $500 discount, get your money sooner? If not, we're still willing to pay full price. We're not trying to slimy renegotiate.
Right.
So that's made some money.
But
then also, it's a simple question, right? When it comes to finding buyers, especially in the rental neighborhoods, you're going to gosection8.com and finding landlords, people who have Section 8 rentals, say, hey, do you want another rental? And typically they either say yes or no. And I've discovered there's very few landlords who have the perfect number of rentals. They either want more or they want to sell some. And so we've actually gotten some leads. We haven't got a contract yet. I've gotten some good leads from landlords that we're nurturing that we actually got by the process of selling. On the process of buying, getting deals with sellers, some specific things were some things we talked about, how we're targeting these niche lists in various neighborhoods, how to do that. I've done zip codes and different lists before and mailed to whole neighborhoods, but being smart with the number of mails, not just throwing a bunch of mud against the wall and hoping some sticks.
Right.
That was helpful. So you talked about some very specific strategies, and actually give me a postcard that has done pretty well, is now part of the mix that we do as well. That honestly I didn't even know existed. So super cool there. Yeah,
that's great. And
yep.
What about someone that, because when people are watching this right now, they've heard of coaching before, and I could say it all day long that I think there's a benefit to it, and you'll get better results from it. But I think it's interesting on your side too, because not only are you a real estate investor, but you actually have a coaching side of your business as well, with working with folks in Philadelphia, a lot of folks in Philadelphia, which is where your big market is. And so what is it that that maybe you could speak to from someone that is watching right now that is still on the fence of whether or not that working together with a coach, even from a coach's perspective, is really worth it for them to invest that time, invest obviously the resources, their money, to put that time into to get the result?
Sure. Well, I mean, honestly, so I've wholesaled, prior to this year, between 100 and 150 houses, right? So I've done deals, right? I mean, I've rehabbed a couple 250 houses or so. I kind of know what I'm doing, but I felt like I was up against some glass walls, right? And so I kind of needed the insight of somebody who was currently doing more deals than I was in the wholesaling kind. And I knew you actually had asked around at a mastermind, and so, well, the heck, why don't you hire Cory? And I said, oh yeah, good idea. So I did. But for me, and maybe I'm just too simplistic. But if somebody's got something I want, or they've achieved something I want to achieve, or they're doing something I want to do, there's two different types of people in the world. The people who sit back and stay where they're at and make excuses for themselves and say, well, he's doing that because he's always done, or because he's rich, or because he's black, or because he's white, or because he's whatever it is, right? Or the other kind of person is, well, hey, that's really awesome. Good for them. I want that, whatever it is in my life as well. Let me go ask him how he did it. Or in this case, ask him a lot on how he did it and get a lot of detailed information. And that's the approach I've always taken. I've been to dozens of seminars and hired a lot of coaches. And it's really simple. It's like, you got what I got. And I knew you did. I knew you weren't one of these internet gurus, and that's all you are, is an internet guru, but you actually do real estate. It's your primary business. And so I thought, well, why don't, instead of just trying to get by with a couple of phone calls and trying to see if he'll answer a few emails, let me get really serious. And in fact, because the relationship we have in this mastermind that we're a part of, you said, dude, you don't need to pay me. And I said, Cory, no, I want to get you, and I want to be vested myself. It's like a gym membership, right? You tend to, what you get out of it is what you put into it. And the more you spend, sometimes the more you get back out of it. And I think it was reasonable, but anyway, it's a no-brainer. If the coach you're looking to hire, which in this case Cory, has what you want to have, like, once you know they actually have it, like, why the heck wouldn't you hire the person? I don't know. Maybe I'm too simplistic, but that's always been my mindset.
It's interesting you bring that up, because one of the benefits, obviously, of being in a mastermind is that you build these great relationships. And one of my best friends, obviously, in the world, Jason Medley, the mastermind we're talking about, is Collective Genius. We made a lot of people in there. And so oftentimes you'll just work together and obviously, there's that relationship between, there's like a friend and, do you need to pay me for something, or there's always that kind of that weirdness. And I actually told Jim he didn't have to. I'd help him out on some things, but he also knew that he was going to get my leftover time. He wasn't going to get my focused time on business and specifics and things like that. And so I do appreciate you bringing that up, because I also believe that, because they say those who pay attention. And,
Right.
I'm that way. If I don't invest in something, and usually that means not just time, but money. If I don't put the money into it, I usually won't take it as serious.
Absolutely.
So that's a good point that you bring up. What about, I guess, on the last part here is, what other aspects of working together did you have the best kind of results from, that you don't think you could have gotten necessarily just by yourself?
Well, one of the things that always haunts me, I think this is part of what drives entrepreneurs, is, what am I missing? Right? What am I not doing right? The reality is, the wholesaling part of my business had been struggling, doing some deals here and there, struggling for like 2 years. Because, in large part because fix and flip had become my primary business for 5 years, right? And so I was trying to do wholesale here and there. And fix and flips is great, but I wanted to do more wholesaling. And honestly, my wife was like, "Well, are you going to be? We need to do more wholesaling, because you get paid super quick on it. It's awesome, last Monday we locked up a deal. Monday last week, locked up a deal, and we have a buyer at a $7,900 profit. No, $8,500 profit on Friday. So 5 days start sales cycle. That's a pretty quick sales cycle, right? And so really, when I hired you, I didn't know what I was going to learn. I didn't know. I mean, I guess if I knew, I wouldn't have had to hire you. So I didn't know what I was going to learn. And I would say there's been a lot of significant things, like how to get this list and these new postcards, but there's also been, I think, the more effective stuff has been a lot of minor tweaks, and a minor tweak at 10 or 15,000 mail pieces a week can make a huge difference, right? At a decent volume. But a lot of, if it's 3, 5, or 10 minor tweaks every week for 12 weeks, now we've made a lot of minor tweaks to make for a major change. Yes. And I don't know if I answered your question or not, but I was trying to do it myself already. It's like, you know what? I'm tired of beating my head against the wall. Let me find out what's really working on a high volume.
Yes. One thing, is it okay to talk about this real quickly, Jim? Because I think it's probably almost a bigger value that people don't consider. And I put a post out on Facebook about 3 months ago, and I said, do you think that it's valuable to have a personal trainer for your physical life that also affects your business?
Right.
So because you're healthier in your physical life, are you more healthy? Do you see bigger benefits? Do you see just better things happening in your business? And I posted that, and the response was overwhelmingly yes. And would you mind speaking to that too? Because I know when we started too, some things that you shared that you weren't in the place where you wanted to be on some of the physical stuff. And what are some things that has happened with that as well? Because I don't want to just focus on just the business aspect of the benefits of working together. I do want to, if you're okay with it.
No, absolutely. I'm absolutely. So, it's funny. I actually was of the mindset that I don't want a life coach. I don't know if you'd quantify yourself as a life coach or not, but it was all about wholesaling. That was what I wanted, right? Give me the nuts and bolts. Give me the how-to.
Remember that, yeah.
And I took up my faith. There's some things you asked me to do, which I was like, cut the foo-foo. Just give me the nuts and bolts, right? But it's like, well, crap, I paid you this much money. I'm going to listen to you. I didn't, in fact, I said this to you a couple of times. I didn't send you this much money just to argue with everything you said, right? So I'm going to try it. And so one of them was like, well, crap, I want to lose 45 pounds. And so I've lost a third of that so far, which is good. It would probably be better if I, ate and drank less. But anyway, but no, what you talked about was the value of some of these habits. And one of them was getting a trainer. It was like the first phone call. You're like, do you remember a gym? It's like, yeah, I got this awesome gym, 3-minute drive from my house.
Right.
Might be 3.5 minutes. And you're like, great. So hire a trainer for 3 days a week. And I'm like, what, man? Like, I wasn't ready for that. But I was like, all right, fine. So I did. And I will tell you, within 2 weeks, everybody around me saw a difference in the energy level. And that energy level, I think, it just plays out in every area of life with regards to family, the kids, the wife, and but especially work. Because, like I said, I've beat my head against the wall on a couple of different things, and the energy with which I was, attacking different things, and taking care of different things, and working with coworkers instead of going for a mindset of like, what do I got to get done today? It's like, man, how much can I accomplish today? Which is, back to normal. But I just got in a bad habit of not exercising. And, somebody's like, well, I don't need to pay Cory to tell me to exercise. Well, if you're not exercising, maybe you do, right? Maybe you do.
Right.
Yeah. And I will tell you that, so there was that, there's some scripture, scripture reading from my Bible, and different habits on the personal level and personal productivity. Because I told you, I feel like I'm drowning. And so you had a lot of different resources. I was drowning in email. We were just talking earlier today on a simple resource you gave me. Gosh, it's completely revolutionized my email life in a good way. So I got more than I was looking for, and I'm glad for it. Because who is it? I think T. Harv Eker says, how you do anything is how you do everything. Right? And if I'm lazy and not disciplined in the fitness area of my life, then it's definitely going to come across other areas. And it was. And I will say that, I'm a pretty hard-headed individual, like a hard driver, type A personality. And you've got me to do a lot of things, but not once I feel manipulated or pressured. And you kind of let me come to my own conclusions, and you help guide the decision-making, obviously. I remember it was, here's how you did the fitness conversation. It was because it was on your mind map, which I love, by the way, health and fitness. So Jim, asking a question here, you want to put it out there, how you feeling about, this category, really gentle. It's like, well, could definitely, okay, now have you been in better shape before? And yeah, and how did that make you feel? How did you feel then compared to now? What do you think you should do about it? Like, come on, all right, fine, I'll go to the gym, Cory. And I did. I'm glad you did it. But you always been super tactful, is my point.
I appreciate that. Yeah. Well, and tact is important whenever you're working with anyone. That's interesting too. Whenever we started working together, what the 3 tests, a different test, personality test that we went over, one being the Kobe disc is another one you shared with me too. Did you think that was valuable from immediately off the standpoint from the beginning we worked together to have that, to be able to understand how best to communicate and how best you're going to take action?
Yeah, I mean, it shows me that you put a whole lot more thought into it than I tend to. It's like, here's what you need to be told. I'm just going to tell you, right? And I think that's where your experience comes in. It's like you're a little more emotionally intelligent with how you want to convey that. So yeah, I think that was helpful.
That's great. Yeah. Well, we go through everything on a mind map, and hopefully that was a great process for you. So you know exactly where each step along the way. Did you like that formatting with on the mind map?
So I thought that was hugely helpful because, one, if you're taking notes in the call, you're never like driving down the road or on a boat. You're where you are right now. And you're on the phone call, you're taking notes on everything. And I take notes as well on a notepad. But I take notes, and you take the notes, and I can reference them later. And there's a ton of resources pre-listed out there. You've got the mind map, so I can reference it on a weekly basis, make sure I got my stuff done. But you've told me, so I assume it's going to take place. I also have access after the program is ended, and so I can go back, and I don't feel like I'm losing anything in terms of these resources. So I appreciated the thoughtfulness and how organized you were in the phone calls.
That's great. Yes, you have the access to the mind map forever. Essentially, that link and all the resources there. There's a lot of books that actually you've read. Worked on this. How did that help on your thinking? Just resetting some of the perspectives from some of the specific books that we read.
Sure. Well, one of them in particular was 4 Disciplines of Execution, which I've heard one of the authors speak, but it is I'm not going to blow spoiler alert here, but a really good book. We're starting to implement it. My team of 8 or 10 people, and it's great. Helped me get back in the habit of reading more, and not just having one book that I'm reading for like a month and a half at a time, but like get that book. It doesn't take more than a week to read a book. It shouldn't. You know what I mean?
Right.
So that one alone has helped us figure out what really is important to us and what can we do predictably that influences the outcome. Has been super important.
Yes, and all the lead measures and the WAG and the from X to Y by Z, basically that format. It's huge because you have a place of where you want to go and how to get there. And often we have a place where we kind of want to go, or sometimes we don't. We just kind of like, I just want to make some money or I want to do something. But once you actually have that North Star, we keep talking about by Z, by this time, by where you're wanting to go to get there. Once you have those things in place, all of a sudden you start having a roadmap and how to get the result that you want. So I've really enjoyed working with you. I know our last session was actually today, and I appreciate you doing this interview. I've enjoyed working with you. I enjoyed not only just from the work relationship that we have on this capacity from a consultant, but just as a friend. I know we've talked about a lot of things in that regard as well on a personal level. And I'm excited about your results. I believe that, let me ask you this, Jim, did you think that we have the framework in place right now, let's say this time next year, continuing on with everything that we went over, how much profit do you think that you can create from your wholesaling business, specifically by putting the framework in from what we went over together?
I mean, honestly, this month, and we just finished our 12th phone call. I think it's just over $60,000 in wholesale, fees.
That's profit.
It's profit. That's gross profit after commissions, right?
Yes.
I still have to take marketing out of that, I guess, but as profit in the wholesale deals, I don't see why we can't consistently be at a 6 figures true profit per month before the end of the year, for sure. So within a few months, I definitely see it getting there. I definitely see it getting there. Yeah.
That's great. So $1 million coaching business or wholesaling business.
Yeah.
And I'm excited for you to have that.
Yes.
I'm excited to see the results. And maybe we'll come back in 12 months and do
there you go.
And
I think one thing that's super valuable, Cory, is I guess it's kind of what you just said, but it's not like, I learned a lot, or I'm more fit, and I'm more clear. But like I literally have what I need in order to actually do more than what I set out to accomplish. That's kind of what I was looking for. So
that's powerful. Yeah, I know you said you wanted to do 5 a month. Now you're really on track to do 8 to 9 a month.
Mm-hmm. Yes,
it's just awesome, man. So,
yeah.
Do you have any kind of parting thoughts of someone's watching this right now? They've thought about coaching. They have certainly no shortage of options of who they should work with. You've been there before. You've had those thoughts before as well. Any kind of parting thoughts that could speak to that person on why working with a coach is going to get them the results faster? Sure.
Well, I mean, part of it goes back to what I said before earlier. If somebody's got what I want, I'm going to learn from them how to get that. And two, there's an investment, and it's not a insignificant investment. But the cool part about this real estate business is once you know what to do, it's really not that, you can make the money back pretty dang quickly. One deal we're closing this month is more than the investment that I paid you, Cory. So it's kind of a no-brainer. And if if you're willing to put in the effort, because one thing I never did was say, man, I haven't gotten this, Cory, after the first phone call, I haven't closed 4 deals yet, man. What the heck? I went into it with the expectation, and you reiterated this throughout, I got to work. Because I would say, if you're not willing to put in any effort, don't hire Cory. I think you'd echo that, right? But if you're at least somewhat committed to doing what it takes, by all means, save yourself. They talk about a learning curve, right? Of have somebody teach you learn sooner. I call it an income curve, right? Because think about what it costs you. If it takes you, we'll say I'm sure you're a super smart person if you're watching this. Let's say you could learn in 2 years. You couldn't, but let's say you could learn in 2 years everything you're going to learn with Cory over the next, however long you're going to work with him, right? If you implement what Cory teaches you, there's no reason you can't be doing at least $50,000 a month in wholesaling, right? And so let's say you're with Cory for 3 months or 6 months, $50,000 a month. So you're missing out 18 months of income. How much did that cost you by waiting, right?
Good point.
So what I like about coaching on that from a business perspective is it shortens the income curve significantly. And I'll just flat out vouch for you here in terms of I think one of the biggest questions is, can I trust this guy to be there? Can he deliver the goods? Can he do what he needs to do? Come somebody who's done a few hundred deals, Cory absolutely delivers the goods. I learned a ton working with him, and he gave me absolute clarity, gave me exactly what I was looking for. And I don't know what the heck else anybody could be looking for.
That's awesome, man. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Jim. Appreciate that. That means the world to me. I'm excited about your results. I'm excited to see you here in September?
Yes.
So,
yeah.
That's awesome, man. But
cool beans, man.
All right.
Always a pleasure, Cory. Appreciate you.
Yeah, appreciate you taking the time. And we'll look forward to maybe doing another interview in 12 months from now. So kind of see where
I'd like it, man. I'll do it.
That'd be cool. All right, Jim. I'll talk to you later.
All right. See you around, man.
All right.
Bye.
Hi, this is Cory Boatwright, and I have a quick question for you. What is the fastest way to reach your goals? Is it to work harder, work smarter, use system and processes, or hire rock star employees? What about just making more money? Actually, it's none of that. Those things are a byproduct of the one success component that every real estate investor or business owner that I know all have in common. And the answer is clarity. Complete laser focus on what you want, why you want it, and what are you willing to do to get it. So where do you find clarity? By hiring a coach and mentor. Now, could you reach the level of success that you want to achieve by doing this all on your own? The Lone Ranger. Well, maybe, but do you think it would take you double or even triple the time to achieve it compared to hiring a coach and mentor to help guide your path, provide proven instruction with a tailored blueprint that you could follow for building a real estate business that supports your lifestyle and helps you reach your financial and personal goals? Absolutely. Here's the fact. Time isn't recyclable. So I would like to ask you to make good use of it and extend a personal invitation for you to book a phone coaching strategy session by going to callwithcory.com. That's callwithcory, Cory spelled CORY.com. I'm going to ask you a few quick questions on that page, and we're going to go over and see how we can make sure that your business is on path to reach the goals that you want this year. So go to callwithcory.com, that's CORY, and book your phone coaching strategy session today. Remember, be a servant, and I'll see you on there.
You've been listening to another Real Estate Investing Profits Master Podcast Series. To receive your free real estate book, Down and Dirty, Ultimate Real Estate Investing Quick Start Guide, how to quit your job to start flipping houses in 90 days or less, head online and go to realestateinvestingprofits.com. And don't forget to follow us on Facebook at facebook.com/Real Estate Investing Profits. Thanks again for listening, and stay tuned for our next episode.